Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Nice to see you all back after the long Surah Fatiha we did. Today, I have decided that I'm just going to start with Surah Takathur. I thought of starting from Surah Baqarah, and I was trying to think what should I do, and I was just thinking. So I thought that Juz 30 is, they all have very short surahs, and most of the surahs are recited by us in our daily salah. We are reciting every day. And many Muslims also memorize the last surah. So I have chosen to begin with the last 13 surahs. I thought that let me do the last 13 surahs because most of them, they're all very short and we are using it in our daily, salah. And it will be nice if we can, understand what we are reciting. So we'll try to understand this surah in deep and what message does it convey to us. Now, Surah Takathur, we are starting with Surah Takathur. This surah has got 8 ayahs in it. It's a short one. And it is a very early Makkan surah. So this was, one of the early surahs which was revealed in Makkah. Now, we have, I had in my earlier classes, I explained to you in detail what was the life in Makkah, how the people were in Makkah during those days, what kind of situation they lived in. And especially after Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he became a prophet. So the early revelations are characterized different than the later revelations. So the early revelations are all during the time when Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was in Makkah. The later revelations are the one when he was in Medina. So there are some surahs, they are called Makki Surah. That means those which were revealed in Makkah. And some surahs are called Madani Surahs. Madani Surahs are the ones which were revealed in Medina. Now, the Makki Surahs, they are basically all, during that time, they were very short. The reason is that during those situation of the Muslims during those days in Makkah was really very different because after Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he got revelation and he became a prophet. The Muslims in Makkah at that point of time were being persecuted. They did not have an Islamic state for themselves. They did not have any protection from the government. So we all know that the situation, the life for the Muslims in Makkah was really terrible. That is why the Makkan surahs are characterized by a discussion of, mostly like the fundamentals of faith, your basis of morality, and also reminding people of the hereafter, that how it's going to be, like it's basically teaching you lessons of moral lessons, that do good thing, don't lie, don't steal, and those kind of things. And also trying to warn the people that what's the consequences of doing this. You may go to the hellfire, what will happen in the afterlife. It was trying to tell us what is about the afterlife and what happens. And then once this was established, during the first 10 years, all the Muslims, when the basic laws, things were established inside the people, then the ayahs, the surahs which were revealed in Medina, they mostly had the different laws were given. So they dealt with the laws more than the faith, because the faith in the people are already established by now. So it was just the law. They gave us about the different laws in Medina. So now Juz 30, mostly you will see they are just about the faith and about, telling us stories, and that to do good things, and not to teach us a life, and to tell us that, look, if you don't do something good, and the consequences, this is the consequences. So today I'm beginning with Surah Takathur. This was revealed early in the prophetic life of Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. We will try to understand the meaning of this surah in such a way that we should know how to apply this knowledge and message to our lives. So at the end of it, we need to take some kind of a lesson and go. We should understand at the end that what have we learned from this surah. Now this surah begins with a complaint. complaint of it's a complaint of us losing sight of things, that we have lost sight of things. We are being distracted by the worldly life and the temptations. Mostly it's like the temptations. And it concludes, the surah will end with a message with teaching us, it teaches us a profound lesson that the very things that distracts us are supposed to be reminders for us. So the things which are distracting us, actually they should be reminder for us, and we should be able to recognize our own actions. And we have to really actually rewire our attitude. So that was a little introduction for you all. Now let's begin with the surah. I hope you all have the Quran in front of you, and probably I think it will be nice if I can just share with you this, and we can just like read it. It's a small one, so like we can read it together here. So it's you have the screen share. So أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Surah Takathur. Alhaakumut takathur. Diverts you, the competition to increase. This is the word-to-word meaning we are doing. And the meaning here, in the beginning I had, given you this book. It is available on Amazon, and I'm using this. And I also have the soft copy. I also sent you all a link to this soft copy. So, but it doesn't matter. You can keep any Quran with you. We'll just go through this. So here, the meaning of Alhaakumut Takathur is the competition. Oh my goodness. Did someone, what happened? Why did this happen? Okay. Alhaakumut Takathur, the competition in worldly life, worldly increase diverts you. That means the competition in the worldly life has diverted you. Hatta, until zurtumul maqabir. Zurtu means you visited the graves, until you visited the grave. Kalla, no, nay, sawfa ta'lamun, soon you will know. Thumma kalla sawfa ta'lamun, then soon you will know. It's a repetition. Kalla law ta'lamuna ilma al-yaqeen. No, if you know with a knowledge of certainty. لَتَرَوُنَّ الْجَحِيمِ, surely you will see the hellfire. ثُمَّ لَتَرَوُنَّهَا عَيْنَ الْيَقِينِ, then surely you will see with the eye of certainty. ثُمَّ لَتُسْأَلُنَّ يَوْمَئِذٍ عَنِ النَّعِيمِ, that means then that day surely you will be asked about the pleasures you indulge. Now for you right now, I mean, it's just a surah, you're not understanding what it means. Now let's try to understand the meaning of the surah now. Alhaakumut takathur. This means that alha. First of all, let's know the meaning of alha. Alha word, it means divert. It comes from the word lahu, the word alha. It means that which keeps you, something which keeps you busy from doing something which is more important and useful. So it means when you are distracted with something less important at the expense of doing something more. Example, like I can just give you an example that say you have a flight to take and you're busy on the phone, doing something, texting or whatever, and you say, oh wait, I'm leaving. And as a result of just sitting and browsing over the phone, you missed your flight. It's doesn't make sense, isn't it? So something important, you left that, and you got distracted and you missed your flight. Now, lahwa is also the common Arabic word which is used for entertainment. So it is lost time by entertaining yourself. The time which is lost because you thought of entertaining yourself. But there are things in life which are important and we have to do it. So you cannot just sit all the time and just, I'll tell you, just sit and pray and read Quran and do that. No, we also have to do important things in life, like where you have to go to school, you have to go for work, we have to take care of our children, our family. But you decide at that point of time when you are supposed to do these like important things of life, and you just decide that, no, I'm going to just sit and watch video games. I'm going to play video games, or I'm going to watch a movie, or I'm going to watch a sport, or I will just sit and chill with my friends, all at the cost of those more important things you want to do. So that's the meaning as al-hakum. That means wasting your time on these important things. Takathur. Takathur means plentiful, abundant, a lot. And also it means competing with each other. You're doing something a lot and trying to compete with each other to see who has more. Now this word gives us different meanings. Let's analyze the meaning of takathur. Takathur means a lot, abundant, plentiful. So number one meaning is desire to have a lot. So it's just that you will just think that I just need a lot of everything, and you're never happy and you're distracted all the time, and especially the desire of useless things. Sometimes you can have desire of doing good things, but desire of useless things. The second meaning is that competing to want more. Your competition is involved. You will see, like, if your friend or somebody has got a big house, you will say, oh, even I want to buy a house. Now you're struggling at any cost. I must have a bigger house. Or simple things like clothes. If you see your friend or your cousin or your brother, so anybody has got nice set of clothes or shoes, you'll say, oh, even I want. So now this is competition. You're competing with somebody for your shoes or clothes or wealth or a house or whatever. You're just you're just trying to compete with somebody. But eventually the newness or the fun of it lasts only so long and you get bored, right? So whatever the new game you bought, whatever it's just at that time you wanted nothing more than, at that time you didn't want anything more than it, but later on it becomes boring. Because why? Because you got deluded and you were never satisfied, and whatever you got, after some time you are tired of it too. The third meaning is that showing off. So you're just trying to show off to others, to take pride in letting people know about the great car you bought, or the great school you went, or something big house you have. So just because you want to show off and tell people about the great things you have. And the next meaning is also the obsession. Sometimes obsession with wanting more and more for your own self, even when not competing against another. You're not competing with anybody, but you're just obsessed with your own self, that I need more and more. So such a person never feels he has enough. His attitude actually distracted you. And the other point is also, yes, that your circle of friends and family pressure, you into for peer pressure kind of a thing, that, oh, your friends got, so so you compete in a way that you land up doing things which are not really your priority. That's not you should have done. Just because you want to compete with somebody, you're running after achieving something which is really not required at that time. So Allah does not mention that. Now, these are the things I gave you the meaning of takathur, but Allah does not mention what we should be busying ourselves with. Has Allah made a list? No. You shouldn't be doing this and you should be doing this. No. It is a question we need to answer for ourselves. And for each one of us, it is unique. You decide what you want to do. You decide, examine yourself, which is the time I should be studying, what are my own gifts and talents and skills, and how I can put my own talents and skills in a productive way. It's for you to decide yourself. Okay, so we finished Alhaakumut Takathur. Next one. Hatta zurtumul maqabir. Hatta means until. Zurtu means until you visit. Maqabir is maqbara, the graves. So it reminds mankind that death can come suddenly and without a warning, while they are busy chasing after the worldly life. While you're chasing, death can come all of a sudden. Okay, just a second now. Okay. So we are talking about the hatta zurtu. So that can come all of a sudden, meaning that we are all wanting more and more in this world, but you don't know, all of a sudden death will come and just take you away. So Allah is telling us in a sort of sarcastic way that we are so distracted by this life and we forget that eventually we are all going to the grave ourselves. So what are we doing in this world? Everything seems to be so important right now and we are competing so much. The word zurtu. Zurtu means, the original meaning of this word means means to meet somebody and hug him. Like when you go and when you meet say you met your cousin after a very long time. What do? First, as soon as you will say, oh, you say, oh, and you just hug that person and you'll be so excited and happy if you see your family or friend after a long time. But like, do you just keep hugging the person and you just stay like this? No, we don't. Eventually, what happens? Eventually, you have to leave that person and then you start talking. So likewise, we are not going to live here forever. We cannot like hug this life as if to say it's going to be with us forever. Eventually, it's going to go away, right? So visit. So we are like visitors in this world, and eventually the place where we are going is in our graves. Allah is saying that we will eventually die and be put in graves, and again for a short while in the graves. Again, remember, we're going to be in the grave for a short while, and eventually we will be resurrected for the ultimate accountability in our afterlife. The next, Kalla sawfa ta'lamun, that means no, soon you are going to know. Soon very soon you are going to find out how wrong you were and how little time you had in this life. What were you busy with? What were you doing in this life? What were you busy with? How you messed up? Don't you feel time is passing very fast? Days, weeks, and years. I mean, don't you all feel so many days, weeks, months are just passing? Like when I tell my son, he tells me, Mama, I mean, it was just yesterday I was there. It seems to be yesterday, but everything seems to be yesterday. But actually, a time is passing. It's just flying away. The next, ثُمَّ كَلَّا سَوْفَ تَعْلَمُونَ. Now here, look, it has been repeated. Ayah 3 and 4 has been repeated. كَلَّا سَوْفَ تَعْلَمُونَ ثُمَّ كَلَّا سَوْفَ تَعْلَمُونَ. So this repetition is a form of emphasis. So this is in reference to the day of judgment. So it's telling us, you will soon know. Know what? You will soon know about the day of judgment. Meaning even death itself was nothing compared to what is going to happen on that day of judgment. So the day of judgment, you have to be fearful. It is telling you to wake up from your distraction. So the repetition is just a warning. Like, for example, I'll give you an example. Like if you are like, if you got stuck on a cliff and you're just about to fall, or say you're drowning in the water, you're just drowning and there's someone passing by. What will you say at that time? You won't say, hey, help me. You won't say that, correct? You will say, you'll be going crazy. Help me. So it's just like a warning. It gives you like a sign of warning. Or if a child is going in a parking lot, a child is running, what will you say? You won't say, stop. No, stop. You will just get so scared because you can see cars are coming from that side. So you want to stop the child. So it's just like a repetition, like also to emphasize, like yeah, in the storybooks, in the fairy tales, and it will say long time ago, or they'll say far away, something like this. So this repetition of these two ayah is just to emphasizing and like sort of warning us that don't you know that the day of judgment is coming? Now, ayah number 5. كَلَّا لَوْ تَعْلَمُونَ عِلْمَ الْيَقِينِ says, no, if you only wish, if you only knew with knowledge of certainty. Now, here this is very important. كَلَّا لَوْ تَعْلَمُونَ عِلْمَ الْيَقِينِ لَتَرَوْا. Next, then let me see the next one. Sixth one is لَتَرَوُنَّ الْجَحِيمِ ثُمَّ لَتَرَوُنَّهَا عَيْنَ الْيَقِينِ. So there are two words in ayah 5 and 6. One in ayah 5 is ilm al-yaqeen. In ayah 7 is ayn al-yaqeen. So 5 and 7 is ilm al-yaqeen and ayn al-yaqeen. Now you need to know the meaning of these very well. So let's come here. Okay, so kalla law ta'lamuna ilm al-yaqeen. So there is a special focus in this ayah on those people who only believe when they see something and do not want to learn through listening. So the main what we learn in this lesson, that certain things You have to just listen, like you listen to your parents, listen to your elders, and you believe them and you say, correct? You say, okay, and you listen. So you believe. So love, here in the beginning, love is expressing actually regret, that if only you knew, meaning if you truly knew with certainty that what is being told to you by your creator, by Allah, about your life, about death, and about the day of judgment. This is a type of knowing where you have no doubts about. That means Allah is telling you about this. This is a knowledge Allah is giving you about the day of the judgment, about our creator, about death. Now, ilm al-yaqeen. Yaqeen now here is a form of knowledge. It's a knowledge. Ilm is knowledge, but this ilm is the form of knowledge. It is solid and satisfied deep inside. You are sure, you don't think of it again and again, and you're sure about this knowledge. And this, like for example, if I say death, you will get death. It's a ilm al-yaqeen. We know that we're getting death. Even the non-believers, anyone in the world, you tell them, that's a certainty of knowledge. You say, you believe in death? They'll say yes, because everyone knows that there's going to be death. Now, let me explain to you this, the difference, what is ilm al-yaqeen and ayn al-yaqeen with a very simple example. There is, say, far, far away, you see smoke. Now, if you see smoke, what will you say? You will just conclude that there is fire. You will see smoke and you will see, even though you have not seen the fire with your own eyes, but you will say, you will assume that there is smoke over there. Why? Because you see fire and you see the smoke and you connect the smoke to the fire. Or for example, in the backyard, you saw in the morning, your whole backyard was soaked, there's water. What will you assume? Definitely there was rain. So this is called ilm al-yaqeen. Then لَتَرَوُنَّ الْجَحِيمِ. لَتَرَوُنَّ, here it is saying, Allah is saying that since mankind does not use the knowledge of certainty, some mankind, but only some, some people, when you tell them that there is Allah, they will question you. Where is Allah? Show me. Something like this. So when mankind, literally, they will not, they only rely on what they can see. Then definitely they will see hellfire. So those people who don't believe on this yaqeen, on the death, on the day after life, surely they're going to see fire. So al-jahim, jahim means hellfire. It means like, jahim is like a stare of a lion. So when if the lion is staring at you, that means it's about to attack you, right? So, and when anybody is like angry and watching you, you see the eyes are like flaming red. So the flame of the stare of the lion is very scary. So the hellfire is going to be like this. It's going to be fire, red, and it will be like staring at you. So when the fire is staring at you, when the lion stares at you, what do you feel? Scared? You're scared to death. In the same way, when you see the hellfire, you're going to be scared also. Then, ثُمَّ لَتَرَوُنَّهَا عَيْنَ الْيَقِينِ. Then here, let me complete this, what it means by ayn. We did ilm al-yaqeen, means you saw the smoke and you have to believe that that is a smoke. But some people will say, oh, I don't believe there's smoke. I don't believe there's fire there. It's just smoke. That smoke could be anything. I don't trust. You see how your trust is depleting. So you say, no, so ayn al-yaqeen. So now what you'll do, you will go, you will walk all the way there. You will see the fire with your own eyes. And then you will say, oh, now I mean. So this is ayn al-yaqeen. The knowledge of the eyes. So first was the knowledge of certainty. Now this is knowledge of the eyes. That means I saw and I believe. There is a third stage also, haqq al-yaqeen. That means there are some people who will see the smoke and they will say, no, it could be anything. Some people will say, no, I'll see with my eyes. They see with their eyes and they say, oh yes, there is fire, there's smoke. Now they believe. But there are some people who say, how do I know this is fire? Let me go and touch it. So they're going to touch it. They're going to touch the fire and then they will say, oh yeah, it burned. And now they will believe. So in this ayah, there is a special focus in this surah for those people who only believe when they see something and do not want to learn by listening. So there are a lot of things we just need to believe because it's there. It's pointless to go and prove to ourselves about its existence. ثم sorry, let me read it. ثم لتسألن يومئذ عن النعيم. So then you will surely be asked that day about the pleasures you indulged in. So this is an emphasis of surely, definitely you will be asked. It's telling you that surely, definitely, meaning when you finally see the hellfire itself with your own eyes, it is then you will be asked about the comforts of this life, because these comforts were put in place to remind you to be grateful and not distract you. Now, these comforts could be anything that we have enjoyed in this life. Even, for example, the electricity, the meal we eat, the water or the warmth, or the good health we have, clothes we eat. It could be anything. It is continuously available to us. So don't let takathur, the plentiful things which have been given to us, don't let takathur distract us. Don't let these blessings distract you. The blessings of Allah should be means to it should be the means to remember him. When these blessings, when they're giving, it should be remember him and to be grateful. When you get these blessings, you should start thinking of Allah and start being grateful. We are answerable to everything, because we will be leaving everything behind us, so it will be taken away from us. So the luxury or getting good things in life, now we have got, this is all luxury, right? So the luxury in getting the good things in life, it's not like you'll say, oh, then we should not be having these things. No, it's not bad. In fact, wealth makes our life comfortable and happy. It's very, very good to have wealth. Wealth is not evil, but wealth, money is a test. You will be asked on that day that, what did you do with the wealth you had? Did you make good use of the wealth? If you did good use of your wealth, you're fine. Wealth is good. It's nice to have money, but it's bad to make wrong use of that money. And Allah will ask you, okay, I gave you electricity, I gave you food. I mean, did you just use the electricity? Did you enjoy the food, or did you waste it? See, these are the questions. Now, we have come to the end of this surah. We finished the explanation. Now, one question I have. Quran is a blessing. Now, Takathur, and Quran has got a lot in it. What did we do? That's also one of the blessings. What did we do with it? Did we try to understand the Quran? Yes. You can say that. You can say, yes, we are understanding the Quran. Now, let's little bit conclude about this. Let's a few applications of this message. Let's see how we can apply it to our daily life. We should remember that Allah does not discourage wealth. Prophet Dawood alayhi salam and Sulaiman alayhi salam, they were wealthy. And also Prophet Sulaiman, actually he prayed to Allah that give me a very big, a vast country. He wanted a big country for himself, and Allah granted him that. And also our prophets Ayub alayhi salam and Yusuf alayhi salam, they were also very wealthy. They were very rich. Also amongst the companions, Abu Bakr and Usman radiallahu anhum, both of them, they were also very wealthy people. So all of them, they had money, but they treated this money as a gift from Allah, and they spent this money in the right way, and they did not just collect the wealth from themselves. They used it in the right way. Now, in our daily lives, we should remember the message of the surah. Allah will give some people more money than others. We should not let the wealth divert us from remembrance of Allah. No matter how much wealth we receive in life, we should remember that wealth does not follow us in the afterlife. Only our good deeds will follow us. Always remember this. This surah, it has really taught us the reality of life. And may Allah give us wisdom to recognize this life. What a blessing of Allah. May we be able to live in the best possible way and not maybe not make misuse of the blessings given to us by Allah. So here, we finish this lesson of Surah Takathur.